Driverless trucks, are they the future? Let's discuss. So, I'm Alan, the face behind Ramblings of a Trucker and Ramblings of a Biker. If you're also a motorcyclist, you might have dropped by that channel. But driverless trucks, I think there's a lot of scaremongery behind it. But I've been giving it some thought the past week. I had a bit of a rough week at work. It's been so hot, trouble sleeping, things like that. And so my mind works overtime when I'm in the cab. And I actually think it's going to be a good thing for drivers. Because when I talk to a lot of drivers that I work with or I encounter, a lot of us, we're tired of the congested roads. We're tired of the bad driving from other motorists. And a lot of people are ready to not necessarily retire from work, but retire from driving a truck. So I started to think about it and so how is it going to work then? Driverless vehicles. Well, in the States, some of the docks, they've got rid of the shunter drivers and they now use driverless vehicles. But that's fine because they've closed off the docks to the public and it's just driverless vehicles. So the computers can control them on predetermined routes around the dock, and they can move under a crane and get a container and then move along, and something will take that container off and stack it or put it on a road going vehicle. But basically there's no drivers in some of these docks in America. And listening to things that are going on with the Russia-Ukraine war at the moment with these drones that they're using, and they're not prepared, or they can't just say to a drone, right, you need to go here and attack the enemy, because the enemy is constantly moving, whichever side you're on. And I thought this could be how we move into driverless trucks, but still need drivers. And this is my idea. And if you are an IT company, you're working for one of the mainstream truck manufacturers, Scania, Volvo, whatever, and you're trying to somehow automate the haulage industry, you might be interested in this. We can remotely control the trucks in the same way that they can remotely control the drones. The truck can give off a GPS signal or receive a GPS signal, so you know to within inches of where it is on the road network. You can't have automated unmanned vehicles moving freight into distribution centres and things like that, and backing onto bays without the risk of collision or conflict with members of the public, because you're still going to have people in normal cars, people on motorbikes, bicycles, pedestrians, things like that. And whilst they can have proximity sensors, I just think the technology is too far away to have fully automated 44-ton trucks with people in the same environment, shared spaces. So my idea is that we control the trucks remotely. So we no longer go into work and get in a truck and go and drive and do a shift. What we do is we get up in our house and we come down, we have some breakfast and a coffee, and we fire up our computers. And the network that's going to be established says, right, you're allocated this truck. Okay. So suddenly the screen appears and you see the mirrors and you see the forward view, and if you put it into reverse, you see the rear view, all on your computer. And you control that truck, or you supervise that truck. So you get told, right, the truck is at this distribution centre in Swindon, and you've got to take this load to Coventry. Okay. So the GPS monitors the traffic, monitors the route in regards to weight limits, traffic volume, delays, roadworks, weak bridges, low bridges, blah, blah, blah. That's all done by computer. And you basically sit there and you watch the cameras while this truck goes. And the reason that you have to supervise it and watch it is because all technology fails and things might happen. So you might observe traffic delays, or there might be a problem with the truck or something like that. So you'll have all the computer will be telling you everything: tire pressures, oil pressure, however it's done. If it's done by electric, if it's a rechargeable vehicle, you get all that information. And at any point, you can step in and override it. And you can say, right, there's a problem with a tire, so I'm going to guide you into a lay-by, or I'm going to pull you to the side of the road and you take over the control of the vehicle. You put the hazard lights on, you activate a button that sends a response vehicle there. And they come out and they do whatever they have to do. They change a tire. You might need a different tractor unit. You might need recovery. But without someone sitting there watching what's going on, you wouldn't fully know what the problem was or how to respond to it. And I think this is why we're going to need humans behind the wheel of self-driving trucks. Because yes, they can navigate around the roads, but you do need someone who can step in when things go wrong. And I think that's the future. And to be honest, I love the idea of that. And part of what appeals to me is the fact that the truck might be able to go further than you want to do as in your working day. So I might think, right, you know what? It's a nice day today. I'm going to do 2 or 3 hours of guiding a truck, and then I'm going to hand it over to someone else, and I'm going to go out on my motorbike. And I'll do a few hours on my motorbike, riding around, doing my thing. And then when I come back later, I'm going to log back into the system. And while my wife's cooking tea, I might do another couple of hours, and then we'll watch a film, and then I'll do a couple of hours before we go to bed. And then that'll be like, what did I say, 4 hours in the morning, 8 hours, but spread out throughout the day. So there'll be trucks all over, and someone else might, they might be going out, they might be busy in the morning, they might go to the gym. So I'll be driving a truck, and then when they come home from the gym, they take over my truck because I'm going out on my bike. And that truck is still on the same journey, and all it needs is a human person to observe and make sure there isn't a problem. And because the vehicles will know where other vehicles are, other unmanned vehicles, because they're all kind of connected on the same system. But they won't know that there's a bicycle on the road or a horse or something like that. Some sheep might have got out of a field. So, whilst you're watching, you're being paid because you're technically working, and you're going over towards Buxton. It's like, oh, the sheep and lambs on the road. So you slow the truck down, you take over and you control the truck, and you slow it down and you put your hazard lights on so that manned vehicles are aware there's a problem. And if necessary, you stop the vehicle or you sound the horn to clear the road of these sheep and lambs. And then once it's clear and you get going, you then hit the button and you put it back into self-driving mode. And you just sit back and you have your cup of tea and a biscuit and you're watching. And that is how drivers, I think, are going to work in the future. And I like it. I like the idea that we can do our own thing, and you can dip in and out of work. And if you go to bed and you can't sleep and you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, you wouldn't be able to put your tachograph in if you hadn't had your 9 hours off. But because you're not actually behind the wheel per se, you're just controlling a robotic vehicle, then you could say, you know what, I'm wide awake, it's 2 in the morning, I'm going to get up because there's going to be a night truck or a trunking truck or whatever. There's going to be something I can control. And that means then I can get my hours in now, and it'll free up the afternoon for me, so I could go fishing. You know, whatever you want to do in your own time. And it will make working a lot more flexible. And I think it's the future. I think it is. I really like that idea of just being able to dip in and dip out. And, you know, you might wake up on a Sunday morning and it's absolutely throwing it down and blowing a gale. And you know what? I'll get my hours in now. I'll do a bit of overtime. I've done 35 hours so far. I'll do 8 hours today because there's nothing else to do because of the weather. So you do 8 hours observing a truck and you get paid for it. What do you think? Leave me a comment. And if you like the video, if you like the channel, I'm Alan, the face behind Ramblings of a Biker and Ramblings of a Trucker. Then let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. All right, thanks for watching. Ta-ra.